All right, so the webinar is now being recorded. Again, this is the Innovation Incubator Orientation for the 2013 Ed Tech Industry Summit. I want to thank everyone for making the time to join us. I know there was initially some confusion as to scheduling, why this meeting might have been scheduled at a time you did not choose in the poll. As I mentioned in the email I sent yesterday, it was just due to some internal scheduling difficulties. So that's why I am recording this webinar so I can make it available to the participants that aren't able to join us today. And I'm pretty much going to cover everything that you will probably need to know. If at any time, if you need further clarification on anything that I cover, please feel free to speak up and let me know. For those folks listening to the recording, again, if you have any questions after you receive the recording or you need any further clarification, please feel free to email me. All of you should have my email address, but if not, I would place it in the chat box just for your reference. So first, this is just a quick overview of what SIIA, the association, and the education division is all about. I know it's a lot of content here. I don't expect you to read completely through it now, but I will be providing you the slides as well after this webinar, so you can take your time to read through this after the fact as well. But just quickly, SIIA stands for the Software and Information Industry Association. We are the principal trade association for the software and digital content industries. And the education, we have different divisions. However, the education division represents companies that develop educational software applications, digital content, online learning services, and any related technology across the K-20 sector. And just listed there are a few of our key initiatives and details on our two of our current key surveys. I don't believe Lindsay Harmon, which actually runs our surveys, is on the line. Lindsay, are you on the line?
She's over at the Speak Up survey work today.
Okay. So I was going to actually have her quickly touch base on these two. Karen, do you want to mention anything about the Vision K-20 of the market survey?
Sure. The Vision K-20 survey is for educators and administrators in elementary, secondary, and post-secondary schools. We'll that survey, and we'll be presenting a sneak peek of the survey results at the EdTech Industry Summit in May.
Okay.
We're also sending out a beta survey because we are trying to change the questions a little bit so that schools can actually show their progress a bit better each year to year. The market survey report is our vendor survey. It is to all of those companies in the market, both K-12 and higher ed, who sell products and services to the institutional market. And we're just trying to get a good sense of what that market looks like and what the revenues are. This is just in the U.S. and just to educational institutions. And if you haven't taken that survey and do sell products in the U.S., which I assume most of you do, please let me know, or ask me if you have, in fact, somebody from your company has already taken it. I can give you an update on that, or Lindsay will.
Yeah, I actually provided both mine and Lindsay's email address in the chat box just for your reference. So if you're interested in any of those two surveys or just need further information, I encourage you to reach out to her or to Karen.
Even better if it's Lindsay.
Yeah, so just reach out to Lindsay via email. That's the best way to contact her. Okay, so moving forward, just a quick overview and introduction of the Education Division staff. As it mentions there, members, which a couple of you are members, do have access to all SIIA staff and all division resources. And you can find out more information on that on our website. However, here are the Education Division staff members listed. Karen Billings, she is the Vice President of the Education Division. Karen, do you want to just take 5 seconds to introduce yourself and quick bio?
Sure. I've been here about 10 years, actually 11 years now, and so what I enjoy most is working with all the different companies, meeting the new companies, and trying to make sure that our whole Innovation Incubator program, with LaDerby's help, is sort of remaining a real thought leadership position in the U.S. We've had a number of innovation programs sort of crop up, and a lot of them are modeling us, or more than that, asking us to partner with them so that they can sort of provide some of the same services in slightly different ways. So you'll hear more about that from us down the road.
Okay, great. And I am LaDerby Porterreal. I am the Program Manager in the Education Division, as you already know. I've actually only been here a little over a year. I started in January of 2012. And of course, as you know, I handle the Innovation Incubator program, but I also manage the one-to-one business connection meetings, do a lot of work with our social media, newsletters, email communications, and such. Lindsay Harmon, which unfortunately couldn't join us today. She is at an event on the Hill. She is the Ed Market and Policy Analyst in the Education Division. And again, if you have any questions regarding our survey, she is the best person to contact. Mark Schneiderman, he's also not on the webinar. However, he is the Senior Director of Education Policy. And then Sarah Carnes, and she is our division intern. She helps us out a lot with different key projects and our EdTech Daily. So that was a quick overview. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to use any of those email addresses to reach out to us. So here is just a quick overview of the EdTech Industry Summit. It is the nation's leading education technology conference. It is we are in our 10th year. This year's focus will be on navigating next. So as it says there, the sessions will focus on what's coming next in the teachings and learning process in a post-PC world. Each year we have a different focus in this, or theme. So this year's theme is navigating next. The dates there are May 5th through 7th. It's in San Francisco every year at the Palace Hotel. And just listed there are a few quick links for the full schedule, which you should definitely check out because you do have access to all of the sessions, and I do encourage you to participate in the sessions on Monday and Tuesday. Also, you can view our confirmed speakers, and you do have access to past events. So all of our websites, past events, you have full access to the presentations, videos, summaries, etc. for the session. So also, if you haven't done so, and I encourage you to make your travel accommodations. On the accommodations webpage, you can have list details for the Palace Hotel contact information. So we do have a special rate there. Also, registration. If you haven't registered, you need to register as soon as possible. I'll be reaching out today to those that have not. I know there were some difficulties with the promo codes for whatever reason. They weren't active. And I do apologize for all of the technical difficulties because we do have that new registration system. So we're definitely all working our way through it and trying to learn it. And I've been referring a lot of you to James just because he'll be the best point of contact for registration questions. So again, I apologize for all of the technical difficulties. Victor, I do see your questions about the sessions are they going to be recorded? Not all of them. The keynote sessions will be recorded. Karen, can you confirm that the other breakout sessions will not be recorded?
Correct. We typically record the plenary sessions and the CODI Awards and the EdTech, the Innovation Incubator awards on Tuesday will also be recorded.
Yes. But however, we will have session summaries and PowerPoint presentations available on our website after the conference. and your presentations will be recorded as well.
The other thing is that they can go to any of the sessions on the Ed Market 101 strand.
Yes, I did mean to add this here, and however, I will be following up with an email on details on that. You, as a participant, you do have access to the Ed Market 101 co-located event, which is on Tuesday. I will send full information on that and how to sign up for it today. So please watch out for that if you have any questions. The Cody Awards, it is another awards program, a little bit on a larger scale. It's an awards program for the software information industry. It's in its 27th year, and the winners will be announced during the awards reception and dinner. Karen can probably tell you just a little bit more about the awards program since she's been here a little longer than I have, but it's definitely a great program, provides great visibility and such, and people love it.
I think for a lot of the innovation incubators, once their product is in the schools and they have some revenues and they've got good customer feedback and they really have a marketing program in place, then it makes sense to apply for the CODIs.
Yes. So again, this PowerPoint presentation will be emailed to everyone, so you'll have ease of access to all of these hyperlinks listed here. So we'll move on just to cover a quick background on the Innovation Incubator program. It was developed to provide support, mentoring, and visibility for entrepreneurs in their development and distribution of learning technologies. The program actually began in 2007. And actually, Karen, I'm sorry to keep going back to you, but I think you would be best to give a background on the program and how it got started and such.
Well, each year the Education Board gets together to decide sort of a couple of things that we want to focus on for the next year, and that one year was innovation. So they really wanted to know two things. One was the companies that were being incubated in different places, particularly the universities or by the government or through Friends and Family and Angels. The other thing they wanted to know was how to innovate better within their own companies. So we sort of set aside, we had a summit in 2008 that really had to do with enhancing innovation within their own companies, and then prior to that we had also started this Innovation Incubator program. And the first year we had sort of very little, a few guidelines in place other than we wanted to find out who they were. We set up an application program. We had something like 15 people apply. We weren't even sure how to evaluate them to know who to present. So we actually had all 15 present. Then each year the program has grown, and we've gotten as high as 70 and 80 applicants. So we now have a extensive several rounds of review in place so that we get down to the 10 that have been invited to present at the EdTech Industry Summit. And then, of course, 5 for a final presentation. And the program has grown and has increased interest, and we're very pleased about that.
Yeah, so this year we actually had a total of 70 applicants. And since that number is pretty high, we do hold 2 rounds of voting. First round, everyone, the 70 go in and our reviewers review it, and then we pick from the top scores. We then cut that number in half, and then those innovations then go on to the second round of review. And again, it goes through a whole review and judging process and such, and then we, of course, choose the top 10 scoring innovations to present at the summit. So it's a quick gist. Much more goes into the review process, but that's just a quick gist of how we select the participants. Are there any questions so far?
Everything seems clear.
Okay, great.
Yep, it's clear. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we couldn't do this and put this program on without the help of our sponsors. Our lead sponsor this year is Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, which is, as you see there. And then we do have co-sponsors. This year it's Text Help, EdWeb, and MCH. And of course, help from our members and such. They help us out tremendously with judging, reviewing your products, providing feedback, and of course with mentoring you all, which you will also receive an email. You will get a number of emails from me today. With mentoring, I will be introducing you to your mentor via email. So look out for an email with that. That would be definitely very important because they can definitely provide you some great feedback on your presentation, just any questions you may have about any further detailed questions on what to expect on site, and just a number of great support. So again, watch out for an email from me. Okay, as you all know, your first round of presentations will be Sunday, May 5th. We call that the Business Profile presentation. It will be in the Twin Peaks room. It's on the second floor of the hotel. The presentations will be from 4 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. Pacific time. Participants will have 5 minutes to pitch their innovations, followed by questions and answers from a panel of judges. Attendees will then be asked to vote for the product that they think is most innovative and most likely to succeed. And the reason we also ask most likely to succeed because as you may know, a product may be very innovative. However, they might not have a clear business model or game plan, etc. So, some products or companies unfortunately may not have a clear and concise business model, and so we do ask our attendees to vote on that as well. So from their scores, the top 5 innovators will move on and ask to present again during the finalist presentation, which is the next day on Monday, May 6th. You are free to use your own PowerPoint. However, if you don't have a PowerPoint template, you are also more than welcome to use SIIA's template as well. So I'll include that in my email again that goes out today in case you need that. Please remember that presentations are due to me by May 1st. I ask you to please meet that deadline because I definitely need time to get them uploaded, make sure that everything is, I review each individual presentation just to make sure everything transfers okay to me and nothing gets, messed up in the process of you sending it to me or whatnot. Especially if you have a Mac computer, sometimes the conversion process may sometimes mess up your presentation. So again, I definitely need enough time to review all products to make sure they're okay. So again, I do ask for you to send me the presentations in advance. I will then upload the presentations to a thumb drive, or sometimes I just save the presentations on Dropbox or whatever. And then I do upload it to the computer that will be host the presentations on site, which is I believe the hotel. No, actually it's one of our computers, and it is a PC. So that's kind of the process. So it will not play off of my personal computer here at the office. I would receive it here, save it somewhere, and then transfer it once I get to San Francisco. Jim, I see your questions are the presentations hosted by your equipment. It is hosted by our equipment. However, we have had people in the past bring either like an an iPad and hook them up. We do have connections for those if you wish to bring an iPad. But I also suggest bringing your own cords as well, just for backup. So if not, if you send me your presentations, it will be hosted on our computers at the summit. On-site practice. This is very important. You'll have a chance to do a dry run practice prior to the business profiles. I ask you to be at the venue by 12 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday. You will get your badges from the registration desk at that time. At 12:30 through 2:45 p.m., you will have a chance to set up your showcase, which is just right outside the room where you'll make your business profile presentation, and do your dry runs. Each participant will have roughly 10 minutes of practice time. And just to make it fair, we will go in alpha order, which I have listed the order there. Kara, I see your question here. Does this mean there can be no changes to the presentation after May 1st? There can be, and if you have some last-minute presentation, you can bring an updated copy on site with you. However, I asked, again, as I stated earlier, for you to send me your presentations by the deadline just so I can be able to review and make sure nothing is wrong with it. But if you do, I do understand sometimes you do have last-minute changes, so I ask that you either email it to me if there's still time, or bring a copy with you on site on a thumb drive, and you can make sure you'll have a chance to make sure everything is okay during your dry run practice time.
And this is Erin. I'm going to jump in and just say that it's great to show video, but that is typically where there's a problem. So have a backup, whether it is just being able to wing it and talk about what they would have seen if it doesn't work. Sometimes it works in practice, and for some reason, at least they claim, it worked in practice, but it doesn't work for real. Just you need to be prepared to deal with those situations, because the more, on some level, unfortunately, the more interesting you make your video, you make your whole presentation, the more things that can go wrong.
Video, I'm sorry, Karen.
If you are coming in then with a change, like, here's a thumb drive with my more recent video, know that there's very limited time to make sure that that works, because when we're going to put it on the machine and run it, we can't, we won't have the time to have you spend 20 minutes trying to pull everything together and make sure that the changes are all incorporated. So, and then particularly last thing, if for some reason you're going to be hooking up your, like the iPad to show something there at the conference, that time to change machines or change anything is going to be subtracted from your time, because we built in the time so that we give you the maximum presentation time, but it assumes that the presentation is loaded, and when you walk up there, you're ready to start. I just judged a whole series of presentations at the Education Innovation Summit, and one thing they did really well was that the one person walked off the stage, and the next person walked up, and the slide was there, and they were ready to go. And it worked really very well. Yeah. There was no time loss, except, of course, when their videos didn't work or something. That seemed to catch them so many different times, and I'm not sure what they had done to rehearse for it, but they always had problems with videos. So please just be ready for that.
Yeah, so we do allow about 2 minutes transition time, but if we do have your presentations already preloaded, it does make for easier flow, easier transition. So I do highly encourage you to just provide me your final presentations prior to the summit, but completely understand if that's, if you can't avoid that. So also, as Karen mentioned, video does add extra element and interest in your presentation. However, you are connected to the internet via Wi-Fi. As you know, that's not always 100% accurate. Not accurate, reliable due to bandwidth, etc. So again, regardless if you have video or not, always be prepared to wing it. If anything goes wrong, have a backup plan, and just be prepared to address the unavoidable. So, all right. So followed by the business profile presentations on Sunday, we will host the Innovation Showcase and Networking Reception. It is right outside of Twin Peaks where you'll be making your presentations. It's a kind of like an open area where each participant, including the alternate, will have a tabletop exhibit. It will be, as it's listed there, right outside Twin Peaks in Sunset Court from 5:45 to 7:30. It's immediately after the business profiles. Each participant will be provided a 6-foot draped table, and then wireless internet and signage with your innovation name and company name will be provided next to each table. We do encourage you to bring your laptop. That is not provided. Also, we encourage you, which I don't have listed here, to bring an extension cord. It's not guaranteed that you'll be near an outlet, so I do encourage you to have your computers fully charged. We can't avoid where the hotel places their outlets, but bring an extension cord just in case. Printed material and business cards. As you know, folks nowadays don't really like to walk around with a lot of printed material. So try to keep that to no bulky material, maybe just a one-pager or something, or maybe if it's in your budget, a thumb drive with all of your information. One of the mentor's responsibility is to provide support during the showcase and introduce you to folks that they think that you should meet with, and just making networking connections and such. So I will be providing you your mentor's contact information, so I suggest you set up a meeting time with them to meet at the summit. How many copies of your printed material? I suggest probably 50, because again, a lot of people don't like to take printed materials with them, but they would most likely take your business card and follow up and sometimes like write notes on your business card and stuff. So definitely way more business cards than flyers or printed materials. Any banners? I have a question here. Any banners next to tables allowed? What do you mean by banners? Is it just like a pop-up type of thing? There is some room for you to have like a pop-up sign, either not next to your table, but behind your table. We have had folks in the past do that. So if you do have something like that, you're more than welcome to bring it. And Jim asked, are we all in the audience for each other's presentations during the business profile presentations? Yes. All participants will be in the audience right in the front row, just for easier transition, easier access to the stage. So you will all sit through each other's presentation. All right, any questions regarding the business profile or the showcase? Okay. Carrie, yes, you can ship materials straight to the hotel, and you can address it to yourself and myself as well, LaDerby Porteril. Actually, no, I take that back. You can address it to yourself and Emily Ruff, which the hotel will know that she is with SIIA. And I am making a note now to send you all information on shipping. Okay. All right. As I mentioned earlier, the attendees will vote Sunday after the business profile presentations, and the top 5 innovators with the top 5 scores will move on and be able to present again Monday during the finalist lunch presentation. Presentations will be held in the Grand Ballroom. It is on the first floor of the hotel. Presentations will be from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Presentations will probably start at 12:30 once the attendees have a chance to eat their lunch and sit down and such. So each participant will be allowed 5 minutes for their presentations, followed by 5 minutes this time of questions and answers from the panel of judges. We will send you information on the panel of judges once they are all confirmed. So I will definitely let you know who will be on the panel. Again, attendees will vote on the innovation that is most innovative and most likely to succeed. Again, for this round, you are free to use your own PowerPoint template or SIIAs. These presentations, you are to have 2 separate presentations just in case you do move on to the second round, and this presentation is due to me by May 1st again. We do, as I mentioned in a previous email, we do highly, highly, highly encourage you to switch up your presentation. We do understand that the material that you covered will be somewhat the same, if not completely the same as the day before, but you can definitely change up how you present it, do more of a live demo, etc. Just get creative, switch it up, because one of our main complaints, if I can call it that from our attendees, is that it's repetitive information or just a repetitive presentation. It was exactly the same as the night before. Yeah,
and LaDerby, I think that counts against them then in the voting, because they know that we've asked them to do that, and when they don't, I think probably in their mind somehow it's discounted. And so those that are fresh and those that explain the product if they have seen it before a little bit differently are probably, we don't have any proof of this, but I know that they appreciate it and they're probably going to show it in their voting.
I would definitely have to agree with Karen. It just shows more initiative if you do put more effort and creativity in your presentations. So on-site practice, again, this is very important. If you do move on, I should mention that you will find out if you are amongst the top 5 innovators by Sunday night. I usually notify everyone by email. In this day and age, everyone pretty much has access to their email on their phone. So watch out for an email from me between, probably before the showcase is over with. I will be announcing the finalists via email. So the finalists are asked to be on site in the Grand Ballroom for practice at 9:30 a.m. You will have between 9:30 and 11 a.m. to practice. You will each have 15 minutes to practice, and again, you will go in alpha order, depending on who the finalists are. All right, the winner, and again, we'll know the finalists that same night. However, we will not let you know that night. The winner and runner-up will be announced the next day during the Education Technology Awards luncheon. And again, that will be hosted in the Grand Ballroom. All right, any questions? All right. One of the main and the best parts of the program is the visibility. There are key industry professionals, executives that attend the conference. However, you do get visibility on our website, which a lot of people do visit. Press releases, the first press release that announced the 10 participants did go out to the press, and I did forward that to everyone. If you didn't receive that, let me know. We will have additional press releases that will go out that will announce the winners and the runner-up. Your company name and your description will also be in the conference program. The award finalist, I believe only the winner and the runner-up will have an interview on Education Talk Radio. And as I mentioned earlier, press announcements and more. I typically follow up various times after the conference, just giving you a heads up of different websites or publications that do mention you and give information on the program. And it's usually, it definitely gets picked up by a lot of different media outlets. So I try to keep everyone aware of who has picked it up. So definitely great visibility. Next steps. As I mentioned earlier, if you have not registered, you must do so by the end of today or by this weekend at the latest. I will be reaching out to those that have not registered. Again, I do apologize for the technical difficulties a lot of you experienced during registration with the promo codes, et cetera, and other technical difficulties. But if you have any questions during registration, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll probably direct you to James or Becky, and they can further assist you. Travel arrangements. Actually, today is the deadline, the room block deadline. So if you have not made your hotel accommodations reservations, I encourage you to do so by today. The price will go up after today's deadline. I believe most of you have signed up for the business profile presentations. I'm sorry, not the business profile, the one-to-one business connection meetings. The deadline was Monday. However, I have extended the deadline and left the survey open until today. So today is your last chance to sign up for the one-to-one business connection meetings. So I encourage you to do that, and you will sign up as a presenter. Again, just start developing your presentations for both the business profile on Sunday and the finalist presentations, and those are both due to me by May 1st. Also, this is very important. I definitely need a contact number, a mobile number for you on site. You know, never know what's going to happen. Can't predict everything, so if any emergencies or anything comes up, I definitely need to be able to get in contact with you. Of course, I will be, if anything comes up, I will email you, but sometimes phone, especially if you're traveling, is the best way to contact people. So please send me your email address, and I will actually do the same. I will be providing you my, my cell phone number. Contact your mentor. I will be sending you an email just with a virtual introduction and contact information for your mentor. I encourage you to set up meetings with them as soon as possible for them, and meetings for you to review your presentations. Go ahead and email them your presentation so they can review it. Schedule a time to meet in San Francisco. These folks are really, really helpful. They take a lot of time out of their day to make sure our participants are well prepared. They just ask that you are cooperative, make time to listen to them, are receptive to their critiques and suggestions, and they have a lot of experience in the industry. So definitely encourage you to reach out to them immediately following my email. After I send you the virtual introduction email, you don't have to really keep me updated on when you're going to meet and stuff. That's completely between you and your mentor. However, if by chance they don't respond to you, or they're some reason don't follow up on their obligations, please let me know as soon as possible. There are other people that I can match you up with that will be more than willing to provide you support. And I also want to know, so then I know moving forward to not, maybe not use them to be a mentor, such because I definitely want everyone to be well prepared for their presentations. And that's about it. We have links here. There are multiple ways for you to keep up to date with SIIA Education Division announcements, events, webinars, etc. by joining our Facebook group, LinkedIn group, and EdTech Daily. EdTech Daily is open to everyone, not just members, and that is a daily email that goes out. So I encourage you to follow us and subscribe. Also there you'll see the Innovation Incubator participant logo. I will send that to you, and I do encourage you to promote that you are a part of this great program. You can use the logo. It is a high-res logo, so you can use it on your website and your email signature, wherever you like. So I do encourage you to use that, and I will send that to you in the email. All right. We got through this pretty quickly. So are there any questions? I do see a couple questions here in the chat box. Greg asked, what's the difference between the audience and the two presentations? It will be the same exact audience. Monday's audience, Karen, correct me if I'm wrong, may be a little larger?
Yes. A lot of people come in, they try to get there in the afternoon, but they don't always make the first round. But I would expect that room holds about, safely 150 to 180 people. And then and the ones who get there earlier because they really want to see this the presentations. And they place a great importance on the presentations. On Monday, when you do the finalists who give those presentations, it will be to everybody who is there at the luncheon on Monday. And it probably will look like more people because they're going to be seated in rounds and in lunch for lunch. But it's going to be a slightly different group because some of the people will have just come in. And people come and go. So, but yeah, there will be a great overlap.
Mm-hmm. All right. Jim asked, should the handouts that we provide during networking, and I assume you mean during the showcase, be traditional product material, or should it be along the same lines as our presentations? Example, are we using it to try and convince votes in our favor? No. At that point during the showcase of voting, the attendees are asked to vote while they're still in the room where you present. So before they even leave the room, they have to submit their votes. So by the point the showcase starts, voting will have their scores would have already been submitted. So the material you should plan to distribute during the showcase is more marketing material. Again, it's whatever you want to distribute, but it probably makes more sense for it to be marketing material. Again, no bulky material because nowadays people don't really like to carry around printed materials. Or you can, a good idea is actually to get their cards and their email address and follow up with an electronic version of your marketing material. Yes, the actual presentations, and I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. Ben asked, will the presentations be in alpha order as well? Yes, that's just the fairest way to go about it, just in alpha order. Question, how important is the business model during the competition, or is it mainly product focused? Karen, I'll actually ask you to answer that.
The business model has some bearing. They do like to know that you have a business model. It doesn't mean that you have had to show revenues. It just means that you've thought out how you are going to be able to grow the company over the next few years. And if you are going to use a freemium model, or if it's going to be free but you've got advertising, or if you have a plan, etc. If you don't talk about your business model. I'm sure that people on the review panel will ask you about it.
So just be prepared to answer it if you don't necessarily go in depth during your presentation. Okay. Kara asked, do you have any suggestions of key points to include in presentations? Karen, do you mind answering that as well, just because you...
Well, don't we have, used to have a template because we always insisted that they use ours.
Mm-hmm.
That template had about 5 points that we wanted to cover.
Yeah, we switched it up in the, just recently because a lot of folks did want to use their template, and a lot of people didn't necessarily follow our suggestions, but I can definitely provide that to everyone, Kara. So I'll go ahead and send those key things that you can probably cover during your presentation. I'll follow up by email, Kara. Also, 2 additional things that I want to mention. One you already know about, one will be new to you. Next week's dry run presentations, I will be sending out a calendar invite for that, so look out for that. Also, we ask that you have your business profile presentation draft to me by the deadline, so you can cover, you can use your business profile presentations for the dry run, if that wasn't clear. Also, Educator's Choice Award. I will send out more detailed information on this. However, that is the Educator's Choice webinar. It will be your presentation. It will be a presentation via webinar, the same system, ReadyTalk. You will be presenting your innovation to educators and administrators throughout the U.S. So this presentation will differ slightly, well, probably significantly from the ones you'll be presenting at the summit, because it will be here to answer the educators' questions and administrators. That is scheduled for the 29th, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. I will send you complete details on that, deadlines, participation details, etc. And then those educators and administrators will then fill out a survey on your presentation and innovation. And the innovation with the top scores from them will be presented at the summit on Tuesday during the awards luncheon with the Educator's Choice Award. The Educator's Choice Award was started and introduced last year during our EdTech Business Forum in New York, and that is with the help of our partner / sponsor EdWeb and MCH. They have a pretty large customer outreach to educators and administrators throughout the country. So just keep that in mind, but don't worry, I will follow up with detailed information via email. Let's see. Victor says, I attended the NY event in November. During the first round of presentations, it seemed that either audience member asked questions or the judges were among the audience. Victor, the whole the way we're working the presentations at the summit will differ from the New York event. During the first round, presenters were split up in different rooms. For the summit in San Francisco, you will all be presenting in the same room to the same audience, one after the other. And the judges will be in the room listening to you along with the attendees. However, the questions will only come from the judges during both rounds.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, Victor also asked, will it be clear who the judges are? Yes, as I mentioned earlier, I would provide you a list and information on who the judges are once we have them all confirmed.
Great, thanks.
Said asked, will we see the other presentations during the educator pitch? Yes, it will be webinar. You will, again, go in alpha order. And you are more than welcome to stay during all presentations. or you can drop off after you made your pitch and you've answered all the questions. A lot of folks do stick around. I mean, it just gives you a little bit of an advantage to see how good the other presentations are. So completely up to you. I understand you might have scheduling conflicts, but it's not a bad idea to stick around. All right, are there any other questions? All right, if you think of anything after the webinar, please feel free to reach out to me via email. Again, you should have my email. I do want to stress that email is the quickest and best way to contact me. I am away from my desk many times, a lot throughout the day, so you might miss me if you call me. But email is the quickest by far way to reach me. So I do encourage you to email me. But you can call me. It's not that I don't want to take your calls, but I'm just, we are in kind of a time crunch, and I do definitely want to provide you answers to your questions as quickly as possible. So again, thank you so much for joining, and good luck to everyone, and I will be in touch with further details.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please stand by.